everybody, and welcome to the Batcolyte. Go ahead and tap the screen and share the live. We'll be taking guests very soon. We're just here to ask if you can question your beliefs. Well, then, what are those beliefs, and why do you hold them? Why do you believe? If you even know why you believe, if you even know what it is that compels you, that drives you to hold those beliefs. And if you can't even question those beliefs, well then go ahead and request on up. I'm not looking to debate. I'm not looking to argue. I'm really not interested in, well, monologues. I just want to know if you can answer the questions about what you believe and why. And maybe if you can, then we can get to some of the other questions. See if you really can critically think about the assumptions you make, the acceptances you cling on to. Of course, right now it doesn't look like there's any room for anyone, so let me swap this setting so that anyone with a belief in a god or God's higher power, or really anything like that, if you're open to having that belief questioned, well, there's a box for you. Easy as that. We're almost to 2,000 likes. If we can get right up there, I think I'll take the first guess then. Usually I make us wait till we hit that 5,000 mark, but I think we can take a guest here in just a moment. But let's make sure we tap the screen, and if you know somebody who wants to question that belief, well then make sure you share this live to them. Also, make sure you hit that repost button so that other people on your FYP can see, and maybe they can come and show if they're courageous enough or curious enough to question their beliefs. Well, that was quick. Who do I have to thank for that? Looks like it's Based God Slippy and Cat DeWitch. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you helping out with that goal. We're a goal down. We're 2,300 likes in, and there's of us watching. Make sure we keep tapping the screen. We can get more people in here. But I think Hello, ML. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
54.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like that?
Yes, I have many beliefs that I they just come to me. I convince myself, I guess, right? So I can challenge any belief, but it has to be with another
You,
another belief, right?
I was asking if you believe in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that. Do you believe in?
Um, well, um, I call it the great architect of the universe to make it easy for everybody.
You call it the great architect of the universe.
One of
Is
his
it
things.
one of his names? Interesting. Is this a god from any doctrine or scripture? Something I could read
It's
about?
well how Masons call it, but
You say it's how Masons call it.
yes.
So your god is the higher power that Masons are required to believe in, and you call it the architect.
The
Are you a
Masons,
Freemason?
yes.
Okay.
So but the Masons, you can believe in any god that you. The only
Right, as
the
long
only
as you
thing
do believe in
is
a god.
yes.
My question, though, is you believe in this architect. Do you actually believe there is some great
A higher force.
architect? I'm sorry, I got to finish the questions before you answer them. Otherwise, you're answering whatever's
Okay.
in your brain and not what's coming out of my mouth.
Sorry.
So I was asking if you believe there is this grand architect, that something created everything.
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
Um, by observation, and well, we can see it by observation, experience.
Can you tell me what observation you've made that tells you there's a grand architect?
Um, it could be order or design, and that is how I see his hand or whatever. It's not a hand, but let's say it's not a hand per se, but I see his intention.
You say you see his intention. Does that mean you're seeing things happen and you've decided there's an intention behind it and that it's an architect and that it is grand and that it created everything?
Yeah, by seeing
Why do
this,
you make all of those assumptions in that chain?
I guess like if I hold a book and I'm start reading the book, I assume that somebody wrote that book. So if I see the DNA and I can read the DNA, I'm assuming the same way that there's somebody that wrote that decoded.
Decode, is that the same thing as read?
Well, decoded. It's I make an analogy. It's
Right.
not exactly.
You're making an analogy, but is it actually analogous? Is it actually the same?
Yeah, I
Reading a
believe
book and
yes.
reading DNA.
Um, yeah, because one gives you information in the sense that one is information and the other one is also
Do you
information.
speak fluent DNA?
No.
So you don't actually know how to read DNA.
I know what DNA is.
What is DNA?
Information to build.
Information to build. Can you be more specific? Like, what does DNA stand for?
Es ácido desoxirribonucleico. This in Spanish. I don't know how to
In
say
Spanish.
it.
Okay, so yeah, deoxyribonucleic acid.
Yeah. So that gives instruction how to build.
So you're saying that there's instructions in the nucleic acid of how to build,
Yeah.
and that you could read it.
Well, no, I can see the expression
You can see what expression.
of the when that it gets activated, and then let's say that
What's activated? I'm sorry, what's being activated?
when you have with life started, let's say
You saw
with
with
a
life
with a
started.
yeah, when let's say there is an ovary and a sperm and they get together and they start dividing, and that moment there's some new DNA that was formed from moment that, and then
New
there's some
DNA
instructions
formed.
on how to divide and where to send those informations to create a human
Okay,
being.
so you're saying that somehow is the same as reading a book, that information would, does it come out the same way as it appears to be written every time?
It's like in the sense of
Does
that it's,
sorry, does DNA does it always create the being that appears to be written in it every time? Appears to be, from what our
well,
current
if
understanding
it's a
is.
human being, then it creates a human being, and that's
Right, it
better for
creates
me.
a human being.
Or a cow, or an apple.
Right, right. Is it something like a book that it just reads out right every time?
And not 100%.
Are
No,
there
there's
mistakes in it?
mistakes there.
There are mistakes.
Yes, sometimes happens.
Okay. So your grand architect, does it know how to edit books?
I guess.
So
Yeah,
why doesn't it edit the DNA in a productive way that
like perfect.
eliminates the errors?
Um, I don't know. Maybe it's part of the equation. I don't know exactly. I don't know how to respond to that.
So why is it then that you believe that this grand architect is even there if it's not editing and perfecting its craft, its work? Why then are there errors so often?
Can you give me a point believing that when you see this DNA building, do you think that there is an observation, a possible design? There's a possibility that there's a design there.
What I believe doesn't matter for you to examine your own beliefs.
Yeah. Well, I see.
Can you
I
explain to
see.
me how what I believe matters when you're questioning your own beliefs?
No, I believe that if you see instruction on how to build something like a tree or an apple or a fish or grass or anything that is biology, and it happens in different ways. I can see some order in that sense, because an apple tree gives apples, or the hydrogen resonate the same way here than across the universe, or I don't know, everything is
You're saying because similar materials are similar, then therefore there's a designer.
well, there's something called fine tuning, and the fine tuning makes everything resonate, and all the chemistry and all the stuff resonate
Fine
the way
tuning.
that they have to.
What is fine tuned?
It's the force that makes
No, I'm asking what is the thing that is tuned? What are you saying is fine tuned?
gravity, or the speed of light.
How is gravity fine tuned?
We can
Is
measure
it because we can measure it, therefore it is fine tuned?
well.
Does it mean anything we can measure is somehow fine tuned? And if we could measure everything, is that, are you just basically defining fine tuning into existence by saying we can measure it?
Well, we don't know what is it, but we can measure it
So if you don't know what it is, why do you assume that it is fine tuned?
because it's a constant that is across the universe,
A
or whatever.
constant? Which constant? About gravity
You, because
is
the
the
attraction.
same. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to let me finish. Are you saying that gravity has the same attracting power across the universe, that things will always fall at the same speed towards each other? Or are you saying that gravity is the same based on the mass of the objects.
It's based on the mass, but
Okay,
the
so if it's
mass.
based on the mass of the objects, what is it you're saying is fine-tuned? Just the interaction of those objects?
Mhm.
How did you determine that was fine-tuned?
Because it's a constant.
Because it is constant, how does that indicate that it is fine-tuned?
Because if it wasn't that constant, then we would not be here. The atoms would not be able to form.
I'm sorry, I didn't say. You're completely misunderstanding my question. I'm asking you, how does fine-tuning, how does constancy indicate fine-tuning? You're saying, well, if it wasn't constant, then it would be this, that, or the other. That doesn't tell me how that's fine-tuned. That just tells me that it is constant. You're basically trying to reiterate over and over that constancy equals tuning. But how does that pan out? Can you actually make that make sense?
Or gravity to exist, there has to be a laws of physics. And one
Laws
of
of
those,
physics. What are laws of physics?
some of those laws are
Sorry,
gravity.
can you back up just a little bit? Tell me what laws of physics are. Like, what do you mean by laws of physics? I'm not asking for specific ones, but like,
Is electromagnetic.
I didn't ask for specific. I just said I'm not asking for specific laws. I'm asking what is a law of physics? When you say laws of physics,
Yes, something that you
define
can
that.
something that you can measure, and then you can see the not maybe we don't know exactly what is gravity, but we can measure and use it, and we know that it's a constant based on the mass of the object.
Anything that we law of physics. Does that make sense? ML. You're saying anything we can measure is a law of physics, but I'm not.
Well, it has some, yeah, it has some, yes, absolutely. We can measure the speed of light. That's another constant in the universe. There's but my whole point of this, because of my belief, is that since I see a design because I believe that things, something like that, because I see the design on the things that are here.
You say you see design, but
I see order. Like an apple is an apple. When you said
you're saying an apple is an apple, and you're saying laws are laws. You're saying constants are constant, but I'm trying to understand what about any of those things necessarily means that a designer did it. Why do you seem to think that existing equals a instantiator of existence?
So my point of time, then we can go to probabilities. I don't know how to measure that. But let's say that I'm assuming that, okay, that the conditions of the universe with all the laws that I talk are set, and that the atoms for some reason.
Why are you assuming that?
Because we can go. Why I'm assuming?
Why do you assume it? Yeah.
We can go. Why I'm assuming?
Why do you assume it? Yeah. Why do you assume?
Well, because I want.
Is it because you want there to be a God, so you decide there must be one, and then make assumptions to fit the God into that gap in your understanding?
My belief is that if I can see some design, that I can assume that is design because I see things here, and then I can go and try to think about the probabilities of us being talking right now in the phone with awareness, because we have it. I can try to make the probability that it happened, and in order to have that probability, I have to have the permutations of all the atoms that possibly exist. That is all the mass that we can measure.
You were able to. I'm sorry. When were you able to determine the probability of all the atoms? How did you do that
Uh,
equation?
we have a mathematical equations
You
on
have mathematical equations to determine the probability of all the atoms in the universe
no no
existing and being
we,
created.
we can measure. I'm not a
You can
physicist,
measure
but
all of the atoms in the universe.
we can measure how
ML,
much.
do you think maybe it's possible that you have decided that there must be a God and are therefore um, struggling, clawing, and scraping at any possibility of a gap? That you
For
are
the exist.
presupposing a God.
No,
I'm
no,
saying,
I'm
what
trying to
is the
deny it. I'm
yeah?
trying to deny it.
Why are you trying to deny it without answering the question? And why do you not consider that possibility?
Um, based on the probabilities that it could be like the
Which
way.
probabilities? Do you actually understand the questions I'm asking, or are you just trying to continue on with your debate script without actually questioning your beliefs? Because it sounds to me, and ML, it sounds to me like you came here with the interest of having a debate on creation, of fine-tuning of the existence of a God, trying to prove something to everybody. But that's not what this space is, and you're basically shitting on my floor by not taking even half a second to consider the question I'm asking instead of just continuing in your script.
Sorry about that.
If anybody else watching has a belief in a God or gods, a higher power or anything like that, and you're actually open to questioning your beliefs, well then go ahead and request on up. But I'm not here to debate you. I'm not interested in your long-winded, thought out argument that you chat GPT'd before you requested up. I just want to know what you actually think in your own brain. I want to know what it is you believe and why you believe it, if you even know. Thanks, Sketch. I don't know why it is that people insist that they're going to give a philosophical debate when they haven't even shored up the basic premises of their argument wasn't wasn't even coherent enough. This isn't a practice space for your debates. But if it were, you should definitely practice a little more and do it somewhere else. Fibonacci flux, unless the philosophy can be grounded with logic, it's not a means of proving anything. Well, I agree. Um, it also, I mean, really, a fine tuning argument based on things exist because they exist. They look tuned because they are there. That's not anything. That's assumption layered, otherwise known as a sandwich. But maybe there's somebody watching with a god or gods that they believe in, that they can honestly question. That would be my preferred conversation, rather than someone just waiting their turn to read the next part of their script. Linda says they hate being fooled. They wish they had answers. I would like to have answers, but I don't know that I would wish for it. I'd want to find them. I don't want to discover them. I think the learning of the answers is probably more useful than having them in the end. But I'd have to think about that to be sure. the idea that, oh, well, hang on. Well, that's always fun. We just lost the YouTube and then it came back and then we lost it. Anyways, puddle analogy, the one where Douglas Adams tells you to imagine, Douglas Adams tells you to imagine a puddle just sitting there in the ground, and you can imagine it filling up this space and thinking to itself, oh, this hole is perfectly fit for me. It's cut just to my size. It's cut in such a way that all of my edges, my corners, everything fits in just the right way. And of course, we see the puddle as just a puddle of water sitting in a hole. But we could imagine it sitting there, thinking of itself fitting in a place that was made just for it. And I'm sure that I'm butchering it and it goes on, but my thought is always how some puddles seem to think that they're bottles of water. And I wonder, does it somehow add some kind of special layer of meaning to everything for you? And if that meaning is just manufactured, then what good is it really doing you? If you're attributing it to the universe, to a god, to a puddle. Right, Fibonacci, if all meaning is manufactured, then recognizing it as that would make the most sense. Rando guy says this kind of live upsets me. Why is that? Did I already thank Base God, Slippy, and Cat DeWitch for the last gift goal? Because if I didn't, thank you guys. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you. Rando guy says because what he's doing. We do not get very many deists, but I guess that depends. Are you talking about deists that know they're deists, or deists that just describe it that way and have never used the word? Because that I think happens more often. You're telling me it's real. What's real?
Hey guys.
Hey, Money, can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Yeah. Sure. My name is Money.
I didn't ask for your name, I asked for your age.
I'm sorry about that. I'm 27, sir.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like that?
Yeah, man, I definitely believe in God for sure.
Which God do you believe in?
Um, I believe in the God of the Bible, the God of Israel. How about you? What God do you believe in?
Oh, what I believe doesn't matter to this exercise. So, can you question your beliefs?
I like to think I can, although I do struggle to have conversation with others because other people don't often uh, question their beliefs while also being able to maintain like respect. People normally resort to arguing and stuff like that, and so I do find it difficult at times to like have conversation with people about complex topics.
When you hear questioning your beliefs, what does that mean to you?
It means uh, being certain and centered in what it is that I do believe and what I know is sure, while being open and humble enough to admit that, hey, there's still more for me to learn and I'm still imperfect. So remaining open to learning while also being certain about the things that I've made my foundation.
You say remaining open to learning while remaining certain.
Right. And the things that make
So, for
me.
you, questioning beliefs means being open to what if you are remaining certain?
All right. Yeah. It's like I'm certain in my belief that the sun will come out tomorrow. But I'm open to what the day could bring me. So no one
So,
could tell me.
I'm not asking about the day or the sun. I'm asking specifically in relation to God or gods. In this case, you believe in the biblical God. So,
Sure.
are you certain that that God exists and you don't question that?
Yes, I would say so because of my relationship.
Why?
Because of my relationship and my proximity to God.
I'm sorry, relationship with God?
Yes, and my proximity to Him.
What does it mean, relationship with God?
Oh, man, like our connection, our the feelings that I feel about Him because
You
of
feel
my
feelings
connection.
about God that verify
Yes.
his existence somehow in a way that is unquestionable to you. You hold a dogmatic certainty.
I've had that thought and I've had that belief. I don't know if it's exactly what he feels all the time, or even if he did feel that. You know what I mean? Like
I don't
it's
think you're
something
hearing
that.
my question. I think you're just deciding to wait for your turn to talk and keep going. What
No,
was
I'm
my
trying to listen.
question?
Trust me, man. I'm definitely trying to listen. Trust me. I don't
Do
want to
you
be
hold a
rude.
dogmatic, unquestionable belief that a God exists?
I don't hold a dogmatic uh, belief, but I do believe in my experience.
What do you mean by believe in your experience?
Like I believe in what I experience inside of myself because it's me.
You believe in it, your experience inside of yourself. I'm still not following. Why do you believe experiences inside of yourself?
So what I mean by that is within myself, I experience these things called emotions, right? And some of those emotions, I believe both of those things because I experience them as reality. So belief is what you make real to yourself or what you decide is real. So I decide, for instance, hey, I feel good about this, so I'm going to continue doing it. Or I feel bad about this, so I'm going to stop doing it. Um, so I believe in that whole experience every day of like making choices and having to navigate and maintain my own emotions and my internal world is what I would call it, you know? So that's where and what God is to me, if you will. But he's also like
Are
a
you
force.
basically just saying you decide what is true based on what you want to decide is true,
No,
by
I
what you
decide
feel,
what is true based on what I experience. I'm sorry.
by feeling?
From observing my emotions and my
Do you
experiences around
question
me.
those?
Do I question my emotions?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. I call that
Do you
anxiety.
question? Oh, you call questioning an emotion anxiety.
Yes, I call questioning my emotions anxiety.
Interesting. And you call questioning uh, your experiences. What do you call that?
Observation, and pondering, maybe philosophy.
I see. So if you question an emotion, it's anxiety. Sounds
Yes.
sounds like a
Um,
way to stop yourself from questioning things. What?
yeah, it
Why
is.
would you do that?
Because, well, let me answer the first part of your question first. Um, I call questioning my emotions anxiety because I believe that that's rooted in self doubt, right? So I experience bad emotions because I'm doubting myself. So I call it anxiety because the center that I want to get to is a place where I feel good about myself. So I would call anything that creates a negative feeling in me or a thought that creates a feeling in me anxiety because those things are steering me away from my center.
So you stop yourself from questioning things because it's scary.
Sometimes, yeah, I would say that. That's a good way to put it. Though.
Is it scary to question your relationship with a god?
It is, honestly.
Why?
Um, Sometimes it is just because, like, like I've seen visions where, God might be hurt or like my actions and my thoughts and my feelings or my doubts might affect him to a point of causing him pain. And I don't want to cause him any pain. So I think that causes me to question my own thoughts um, often, or,
I'm sorry if I'm
sorry,
understanding
when
you
in
correctly.
relation to
Just
God, yeah,
just to
sorry.
clarify, it sounds like you're saying that
Okay.
doubting God might cause God pain. Um, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I somehow get
Okay.
to that space of
Really
thinking.
quick, before we move further into the questions, I do have to talk past you for a split second and thank
Of course,
Rav
man.
Amoria 96. I appreciate all of you so much for helping with the gift goal. And everybody, keep tapping that screen, share the live out. Maybe we can get some more people curious enough or courageous enough to question their beliefs. Um, Money, I'm curious. Do
Yes,
you
sir.
do you have a belief that the? I'm sorry. For
You said
some
what?
reason, it keeps looking like you keep turning on your camera. We don't need that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I was trying to turn it back off. Sorry about that, man.
uh, have you read the Bible from beginning to end?
I have. Well, I've read most of it. Yeah.
You've read most of it. Do you
Yes, sir.
believe everything within it to be true and literal as
Honestly,
written?
honestly, no, man. I don't. I gain a lot from it, and I will say it is one of my favorite books. But I honestly will say, like, I don't believe every part of it. You know what I mean? Especially towards the New Testament. That part, the whole Jesus thing. I genuinely do, man. The New Testament gets me stumped. Like, if we're talking about like history and like the prophets and wisdom
Mm.
and its benefit to like the human race over time and lineages, then yeah, I love history, so I love shit like that. But when we get to the New Testament, it's all like, oh, love your brother. This guy's walking around. I just kind of in my own life journey, I've lost my faith in certain things, just in my questioning. And yeah, the New Testament kind of gets me stumped. But I've also looked into the Quran briefly. I've talked to like Jehovah Witnesses. I'm a kind of person, man. I just like meeting people, and I like just hearing what, learning from other people, learning what they've learned, learning some. You might read the Quran, and I'm like, okay, well, what did you learn from that? You might read the Bible. Okay, what did you learn from that? I'm always curious to know what did you learn because to me, it's like, you know, I have my preferred sources. You can have your preferred sources, but if we can discuss like the meat and the matter of what it is that we're finding, which is like, I don't know, what truth do you know that might benefit my life? Or how can I be of help to you? Maybe it's just listening to you share your findings and your learnings. You know what I mean? Like that that friendship to me is more of like a is what I'm more curious for because I believe that's the core of like the teachings that I've studied, right? It's love, right? But then it's like love is not just this cliche, simple thing. Oh, love everybody. It's like no, love is a very complex thing because
Okay, let's back up just a little bit. You're just kind of rambling now. What was the question I just asked?
yeah, you're right, man. I kind of rambled off a bit. I can't remember the question you asked, but I was doing my best to answer on point to what you're asking.
I was asking about the literalism of the Bible. What actually did and didn't happen. You were
Yeah,
telling me that
what I
you were
do.
telling me that some of the history fascinates you, but do you actually believe everything happened? Was my question.
Oh yeah, I believe everything that
Do
was
you
written.
believe in 6-day creation?
I don't know about the 6 day creation, man, but I definitely see how God could create days, man. I see why it makes sense.
You can see how God creates days, but you
Yeah,
don't know if the six
from
day
my
creation story is
perspective.
true. My
I
my
I don't
question
know.
is if the story in Genesis 1 is true as written.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if he did it in 6 days. Those are things for God to know. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I know I'm living in a day, and man, I didn't see how like sometimes a day can feel like hours. You know what I mean? Like sometimes an hour can feel like a day, and it's like, okay, I see why it's good for humanity, life for hours, bro. I could do this, and that with it. You know what I mean? Like we don't gotta be like stressed all the time.
Um,
You feel me, bro?
no, I don't think you're answering my question. You're just kind of giving me a feeling about stressing. I'm asking you if you believe.
You said you're feeling stressed, bro.
No, you are just kind of rambling about your stress and how you feel. I'm asking if you
Oh, okay.
believe in the 6-day creation. Why? Why is. Okay. I didn't do that. Well, I guess that's how that conversation's going to end. He didn't like when I pointed out he was rambling. If anybody watching does have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that, if you're open to having your beliefs questioned, well, then go ahead and request on up. I'm not here to debate you or argue with you or even tell you that you're wrong. I just want to know if you can question your beliefs, well, then what is your belief? And why do you believe it? What does it condemn? And, and what does it justify? Hello, Outer Monologue. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Hello, I'm 29.
And do you have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that?
I do, and it actually was formed in a very weird way.
Your belief was formed in a weird way.
Yeah,
Can,
actually.
before you tell me the weird story that I think you're ready to tell me, I'm curious what that belief is. What is the God that you believe in?
I believe there is a source to everything, and it's the oneness that all the religions describe.
Do all the religions describe a oneness?
I believe they do.
Have you studied all the religions?
So that's where the weird part comes in, is that, now with the use of AI, we can ask the questions that, when I've gone to different churches, haven't really been allowed to ask. So I have been looking into a lot of this with AI and just asking kind of what do all these holy books and texts and beliefs have in common? And through
So
that,
you start with the assumption that they hold something in common and then
yeah.
ask an AI to confirm your bias.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, because I was very interested I started believing that there is a higher power. And from there, I wanted to join a community, which made me look into different religions So I started just by that, going to different churches and stuff like that. And although I was hearing some of the same themes, they were told in different ways, and I didn't agree with any of the ways that they were being told. So then I started looking, hey, maybe is there another religion that could fit some of the beliefs that I have and some of the things that I'm seeing that have been repeated over time and over history. I mean,
I'm sorry. You're trying to tell me that you saw some things repeated and you looked to see if those were in one particular faith?
no, just to see why they were all repeating, what it meant to have them
What
be
was being
repeated.
repeated?
It seems like most of them start with this one consciousness. Even the Big Bang, like there's
One
a source that
consciousness, really?
everything comes from.
So in the Enuma Elish, when it starts with Marduk and, I'm sorry, Absu and Tiamat, the two primordial, the salt water and the fresh water, is that one consciousness?
I did not understand half of the words that you just said. I'm
Oh,
not gonna lie.
the Enuma Elish, ancient creation, from which the gods were born, in the merging of salt and fresh water primordials named Absu and Tiamat.
Okay, so I haven't heard of that one, but that's
Do you know
something that would be
do you
very
know the
interesting.
Greek story of creation?
So
Are
I
you
know the
familiar
Greeks
with
had
the
a bunch
Norse
of
one?
different gods explaining, like the sun rising and things like that. I don't know the actual creation one, though.
You don't know the story with the Titans?
I have heard of the Titans, but I can't tell you
Okay.
exactly what it is.
Probably not starting with one consciousness then. What about the Norse mythology? Do you know the Norse creation story?
I do know that they also have many gods, that they don't have one single god. But okay, aside from those, there's also
Aside
other
from,
religions that
okay,
do kind of fit the same pattern.
so some of them fit your pattern and some of them don't. Would that mean that all of them fit your pattern?
I'm not saying that all of them fit. I'm
You
saying that
did
this
for a
is
moment there, like several times. You reiterated that all of them had a oneness, all of them started the same way. And I had asked if you'd studied them all. You said you could use ChatGPT. But I'm curious if you even fact check your ChatGPT. Do you know?
I've been trying to, but that's part of the reason why I want to join these types of lives, to have communication with other humans instead of just artificial intelligence about this type of thing. Because unfortunately, when you go to these religious establishments, a lot of them don't want to be questioned, and you seem to
Okay.
want to question those beliefs.
I want to question all the beliefs, and I also want to make sure I get to thank 96 Amoria and Philly Red for the gift goal. Thank you guys so much. But you're saying that you believe there's some common thread amongst all these beliefs, but can we go a little more detail into what you actually believe there is? So what is it you believe in as far as a God? What is that God?
The source from which it all came from. That's as far as I've gone.
What does that mean to you? Source from which it all came from.
I am still trying to figure that out. I don't believe that it's this man up in the air that's, watching everything that we do.
What do you mean by source? Can we just narrow that? Not what you don't mean, but what you do mean.
Where everything comes from, the source
So you
of
think
where everything
everything
comes from.
from one thing?
Yes.
Why?
There has to be something at the end of it, right? We can
Why?
continue asking, where does that
Sorry,
come from? And
you're
where does
saying
that come
has
from?
to, but why? Why does there have to be something at the end of it? Why? You see here the multiple assumptions within that. An end is there, and something is at it, and it has to be there. That's three assumptions within that. Why would you assume that a something has to be at an end? And what even are you meaning?
So the, everything has a beginning and an end.
How did you
We
determine
can,
that everything does?
I mean, we can observe that in
We
nature.
can observe everything having a beginning, everything having an ending.
Do we not?
I'm asking if we do. I don't know how turning that question back on me helps you examine what you believe.
I mean, it's a conversation. I'm
not here to answer questions. I'm questioning your beliefs.
Oh, you see, that's not really what I'm looking for then.
Oh,
No,
so
that's
are
fine.
you're saying
A conversation back and
you
forth
well, I'm
about
not here.
beliefs
Here's
where
the
I can
thing.
ask questions. I
Here's
don't
the
want
thing,
to
though.
just
I'm not here to
sit here and be
answer
bombarded.
questions. Okay, well then
Exactly.
you're in the wrong place, especially if
Yeah.
you're just going to keep talking over me. That's really rude. So that's three in a row. Just can't seem to understand that questioning their own beliefs requires questioning their own beliefs. I don't seem to be communicating it well enough, I guess. Can you question your beliefs? Somehow means asking me what I think about their musings and conclusions. And I don't understand why you would do that. Mick says this is fake tiny. Hey guys. I just want to say that I can't even think of a tinyism off the top of my head. Shit. Hey guys. Hey Hammy.
Hey, Thrayle. I'm
Hey
sorry.
Hammy.
Sorry, Thrayle. Sorry, Thrayle. Oh, Lordy.
I'm fake tiny apparently. The scammer.
Fake, fake tiny, since neither one of y'all do this.
Tell him that.
Right? Because, I mean, neither one of y'all, like, y'all both have two totally different styles.
If I'm fake tiny, then is he fake Thrayle?
That only makes sense to me.
So how are you doing, Hammy?
You know, just up here at work doing my day clothes. Other than that, I'm doing alright. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Were you requesting up to enlighten our previous guest as to the oneness within Norse mythology?
Absolutely, because, you know, our Lord and Savior Odin, you know, he brought his son down, Thor, to, you know, to unalive the world serpent for our sins.
Really?
Absolutely. It says it right there in the Holy Eddas.
In the Holy Eddas.
Exactly, the Holy Eddas.
Oh my.
So I wanted
Does that make
to
Snorri a prophet?
He's our first prophet.
Prophet Snorri
Oh, Lord.
in the Holy Eddas.
Oh. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if there are Norse pagans who think that is what it is. Who hold it
Yeah,
up in
especially the
such a
ones.
Christian way.
Yeah, that's going to be definitely the ones who came from Christianity. They brought a lot of that Jesus baggage with them. They got on a flight and Jesus was in their carry-on, and then they flew over to polytheism and they said, "Yep, here we are."
Yeah, I'm sure there are many of them. Well, I wonder if there are, though, many other kinds of believers, the kind that can question their beliefs and challenge their own assumptions. How many of you watching have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that? If you do, well, I think I have an idea. Let's do this. Let's see. If you do believe in a god and you can answer questions, why don't you vote in that poll in the upper left-hand corner? Let us know if you can, or if you're afraid of questions, but you still have some kind of belief. Or maybe you just don't know if there's a God. Maybe you just haven't been convinced yet. I know where Hammy's vote would go.
Oh, you know where my vote will go?
Pretty sure.
Let's see here. Where did you think it would go?
Oh, you surprised me.
Ooh.
I expected it doesn't and can't.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people would expect that. However, the thing is that I do believe that if you have sufficient evidence of said God, I would believe that it existed. That doesn't mean I'd worship.
How would you
but it means I
determine
would
the
make-
evidence was sufficient?
I think it'd be definitely difficult, but I think that it's something that, like, I'm sure my since I've been very honest about this in the past, I don't know exactly what it would be that would convince me. However, I do know that that it would be something that was undeniable. It would be something that is, there's no other, like, it's like, yep, nope, this God exists, and there'd be no way for me to deny it. That's the only thing I do know about any evidence that would be convincing, is that it would have to be undeniable proof that it exists. In which case, I have no reason, would have no other choice but to acknowledge its existence. Whether or not it's worthy of worship is a whole different story.
Maria says, word salad.
I saw that.
Well, why don't you find some dressing for your word salad while we greet our new guest? Big, can I get your
$1,000.
age?
Yeah, 27.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like
Yes,
that?
I believe in Jesus Christ, the true God.
And have you read your Bible from beginning to end?
Not word for word, no.
Why not?
Cause some chapters I've skipped.
Why did you skip some chapters?
Cause I didn't go through it in one go. Like right now I'm reading through the Gospels, but you know, like
So when I ask from beginning to end, you wouldn't think to pick it up like that, to read it from the beginning to the end.
No, 100%. No, that's probably the best way to go about it. 100%.
Then why haven't you done that?
You know, I'm not perfect.
Is it not important to you?
It is important, but you know, I'm not perfect.
Fair enough. So, do you believe the stories that you have heard from it to be entirely true and literal?
Yes.
So you believe in a 6-day creation?
Yes. Well, yes, I do. 100%.
And Adam and Eve, they were the first humans and
Yes,
were cast out of a garden.
Yes, because we got to come from one man, one woman.
Interesting. Why do we have to come from one man and one woman? What gives you that idea?
Because I came from one man and one woman.
So why would the entirety of humanity need to come from one man and one woman? How does that make sense?
population decreases, doesn't increase. So at some point, at some time, way back then, when
I'm
it's
saying that
Oh,
I'm sorry, hang on. You say going back, it never increases. I don't know if that's true, but I'm curious. Do you think that one man and one woman really can create the genetic diversity required to sustain a population?
yes, I mean it's kind of like
Are you familiar with what happens in inbreeding when
Am I
one man,
familiar what happens with inbreeding? What do you mean?
yeah, when like one man and one woman have a group of children, who do those children have children with?
They do a little bit of
Yeah, is that something that do you think actually could sustain a population? Do you think that's something that
yes, I would think it would be necessary at
interesting?
that point.
I wonder
Not
if you
now,
looked in.
but
I wonder if you looked into the genetics, the science of it, if you would find that there was some contradiction to that thought. But that's not really where I want to go. I'm curious if you believe in a 6-day creation and a literal Adam and Eve. Have you read those stories, or do you just know them from being told?
hold on. Sorry. Hold on. Sorry. I'm reading.
Are you reading comments instead of responding to my question? Okay, we'll just move on to somebody who has the maturity and ability to have a conversation on panel.
you didn't want to go into the genetics or the history, but I certainly did.
I'm more than happy to, but I was asking him about the literal interpretation, as I
Yeah.
often do, to
Yeah,
gauge
that's
where his mind is at.
yeah, that's usually your first go-to.
Well, it does help me gauge just how accepting they are of the words. I'd ask them the same questions about literalism, to a degree anyways, from most faith practices with an attached literature. But I do want to, 16% of you, which somehow is just one vote, saying that they can answer questions about their God. Nobody would put in B. One person said they don't know, maybe. We had 3 votes for no, but they could be convinced, and only one saying that there is no God, doesn't exist, and can't.
I just, to those who sit there and says that no God exists and none could or can exist, I would really, really love to know how they've gotten over the
Well, that one vote,
possibility aspect.
that one vote meant
Oh, that one
to click a
person.
different,
Oh, okay. Well,
meant to
then
click a
never
different
mind.
option. So
But
I
there
don't know
are
who
some
said-
people who are out there
There
who
are
do
those.
say that there can.
I interview them from time to time. Hello, BZB. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
36.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that?
I believe in a non-personal God who likes to show, who put a bunch of other gods in charge, and the other gods are pissed off because they haven't seen the other god in a real long time. So they're just trying to do everything in their power to do whatever the opposite God told them not to do. And God don't care. He likes to show. And it's pushing to 13 families that's against 18 billion people to push trans and gays and they're not trans and gays, the families that push it.
Oh.
So if anybody else watching has a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that, go ahead and request on, huh? What the fuck was that?
I have no fucking clue. And the thing is I was trying to take it seriously. But even though from the very get-go I was like, this is not a serious person. So I was like, but no, maybe he is. And then I heard that last bit, I was like, oh.
As soon as I heard
Oh,
13
no.
families, I was pretty sure I knew where he was going.
I just...
All right. Moving right along.
Do we have another request?
Well, there was, but sometimes it takes a minute for them to load in or disappear entirely. That's how we end up stacking with more than one, but a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that. You're open to having your beliefs questioned. Well, go ahead and request on up. I'm not here to debate. I'm not interested in your monologue. I am interested if you can answer the questions, if you can question yourself. I know I need to change the background questions. I have a few new ones in mind, but
You do?
I haven't made the graphic yet.
Oh, I've got to see this graphic when you make it.
Well, it won't be that wildly different from all the other pensively posed.
I need it to be wildly different.
Why? Why would it need to
Just
be
because
wildly different?
Because I just want to see what a wildly different one from you would look like.
I'm not gonna.
Doesn't have to be.
I thought about it for a
doesn't-
second. I'm digging back
Yeah.
in the archives. I've got some old ones that are really wildly different, but we're not going to go there. We do have one request. There we go. See if they're actually there. Hello, Helia. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Sure. I'm 39. And what does TOS mean?
Terms of service.
Oh.
Just making sure you're old enough to talk on a live. So, do you have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that?
I do. I don't have a monologue ready, but
I appreciate that.
I believe in everything. I believe all of it.
You believe in everything, as in every belief system, doctrine, every myth, every story.
Yes, I do. I believe
Is possible, even the things people come up with to be impossible. Anything and impossible.
on purpose to be special or to gain attention for the attention. No, but putting it out there and having that amount, if they were to get that impossibility out there to a certain extent of people, then there is a possibility that it could exist through manifestation, because that is
Manifestation. So you're saying that if somebody believes in something at all, it adds to the potential that that thing could exist, and the more people believe in it, the more likely it will manifest in some way and actually become existent.
yes. That's why we have to be careful. And I don't think many people
You're
have
saying
been
that's
very.
that's why we have to be careful. Are you saying that if somebody came up with something like a celestial skeletal bat goddess that unfurls its wings in accordance with the Lambda-Cedium model of physics, otherwise known as the Big Bang, and that in which the universe would just be one membrane between the bony appendages of this expanding wing of a giant bat, would that then mean that somebody is manifesting our universe to become a membrane between the bony appendages of a celestial skeletal bat goddess?
So that's insane that you said something like that, because a couple years ago I tried shrooms for the first time and I actually drew something similar to what you just freaking described. That's crazy. I drew a bat woman with one wing, and Just wow, yeah, it's possible. That was pretty cool.
I have a quick question. Well, a couple of quick questions. One, is it possible that Odin, along with his two brothers, unalived a giant and used its innards to create the 9 realms?
Okay.
Midgard being Earth, that's one of them. Is that possible?
I think that we're lost in translation in a lot of stories. So I believe that that story has significance in some way, but with all the different languages in the world and all the different points of views, it's probably not going to come out exactly as it sounds. Does that make sense? I think that there's a lot of metaphors involved in some stories like that, especially with the Greek and the Vikings and the Romans, you know?
So, where stories coming, the others don't exist, you would take any of those moments to be metaphors.
No, I think it exists. I just think that they clash in existing among each other. And some of them have language barriers. I mean, each
I'm not
god.
sure how I'm not sure how the language barrier explains when two different gods create the world in different ways, different things.
That because okay, for instance, there are these powerful men that came from one nation, making the smaller people, the peasants, and believe that he's a god because he has more information, because he's stronger, has better weapons, something. He comes to another land and faces another very powerful man with different weapons and different information. And they try and explain to each other how they know they created this world. And then they fight and argue about it. And that's where the war comes in. And that's where their followers come in. And, and all the confusion. And then the choosing of sides. And all the different...
If 300 taught me anything, it's if you can get a god to bleed, it has people realize that he's no god at all.
I think that one of the main truths within every story in his image, in their image, its image. And you just have to have the imagination in order to understand what that means.
What do you think it means that we're created in these deities' image or images?
Okay, well, if you take our DNA, which is our blood, so God does bleed, it might not be red like the one and ultimate God, but it definitely does have red blood involved in it because we are him, it. So I believe if you take our DNA and you put it under a microscope and you take the atoms from anything that you can find, you will find in our DNA, in our blood, in our cells. And that, I think that means that God is the whole, the everything, the stars, the universe, all of us at
I'm sorry,
once.
back up just a second. If you took our DNA and did what with it, it would mean that God is the stars. I'm totally missing the connection that you made.
God is everything. We are like, so, okay, you know how our blood works? Like if we get cut or we get an infection, we have different types of blood cells that race to that infection to help heal it. Sometimes there's parts of ourselves that fight the good parts. Like it gets confused, our bodies do. Race to that infection, parts of ourselves do. And it's sort of like a little army in there, you know?
Yeah, I really hate to cut you off, but I know if I'm struggling to understand how this is answering Thrayle's question, that probably everybody else is struggling as well.
Oh yeah, well, no, she's not answering the question. Do you remember the question, Yulia?
I do remember the question, yeah.
What was my question?
You asked me to get to the point, basically, about how I believe that we are God's image. And I explained that it has to do with our blood. And it's a huge perspective to see what I'm trying to explain. So,
How is it you think you've come to this knowledge?
I am a major introvert. I don't really talk to anyone. I don't know. It's my own opinion, I think. It's my own belief.
So
I started believing
your opinion is that some ultimate God, and again, I'm still not hearing the connection of how you made DNA to the God.
Okay, so our consciousness, each one of our consciousness is awareness wrapped in opinion, wrapped in belief. It's everything.
Consciousness is awareness wrapped in opinion, wrapped in belief.
Yes, it's
So
anything.
our consciousness has what to do with the DNA, and how did that get out before?
That's what I was trying to explain with the red cells and the white cells working against each other somehow.
Are you using metaphors to explain more metaphors with metaphors interlaced?
Not really. I'm just trying to express I'm not doing a great job. I'm tired, and this isn't college.
True, this isn't college. This is just, we're just asking what it is people believe and why they believe it. We're trying to understand if people can question the beliefs they hold, the assumptions they make, if you can critically think about the things that you assume to be true. And in this case, I'm hearing a lot of layered metaphors, layered into other metaphors, but I'm not hearing you really even what it is you believe, except that there is some over God that creates all, but also all religions are true, even though they contradict.
Which proves that I can question my own beliefs, because look how confused it looks like I am.
Good question.
Really quick, I'm gonna thank 96 and Moria and Donna B for helping with our previous goal. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you. I want to know why it is you assume there is any kind of God or creator at all.
I don't know if it's more of an assumption rather than a hope. You know,
I see.
I hope that there is, and I hope that he loves himself.
So for you, hope is a less convicted word than assumption, less convinced? Or is it just as convinced, but more?
I used to be very convinced. I was extremely convinced, and there was a lot of proof in front of me, but the proof was only for me. It wasn't something that I could prove to anyone else. It was just for me.
What were you convinced of?
that that God is conscious and is aware and does communicate, but only if you're willing to.
And you're not as convinced of that.
Well, I am. It's just I'm tired, because it's like I was expecting something to show up, some wish to be fulfilled, but it doesn't work like that.
Oh.
So I guess that's just me, the part of my belief growing up as like a woman in this society too, because we grew up on Disney and 90s romance movies. It's kind of disappointing.
It shattered expectations.
Yeah. But I think I'm taking it well.
Do you think some of that disappointment is where you're focusing on God? Some of the hope to amend that disappointment. Some fairy book ending.
I think it's to replace the actual beings in my life that are disappointing, including myself. Like, how can it be this torturous and because everywhere you go, there's a God. There's hundreds of them. Thousands.
Are there gods, or are there people talking about gods? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So everywhere you go,
when you
there
learn
are
about
people.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right. It sounds like you're saying everywhere you go, there are people.
Yes. With good sales pitches, and you want to believe it. You do. And then when you see how the mainstream works and how all these followers just show up for like a 5-second clip and believe it instantly, right? And like this whole band of people get together based off of a 5-second clip, and there's this ginormous wave of belief in that one thing, and the energy involved, it's immense. And you would think that something so ancient and educated would be honest, something, but I'm glad that a lot of it's not, because a lot of nasty men are the ones who wrote all it, they stole from women. Well, they stole from couples, I think, not just women. They stole from the divine feminine and the divine masculine.
Why do you think there is such a thing as divine?
Oh, because there is, like, when it's
hang on. Ask why you think there is, and you say, oh, because there is. Can you help me? Why do you think there is anything that is divine?
Because I don't know if it's divine, but it's definitely more powerful than what we're seeing on a day-to-day basis.
What does that mean, more powerful?
Powerful, just makes you feel more alive, more in tune.
Something makes you feel more alive, more in tune. What is that something?
And the elements.
What elements?
Alchemy. Okay, it's alchemy. When you are...
Wait. When you say alchemy, now I have to know what you mean. Are you talking about turning lead into gold?
I don't know if that's possible. I mean, we've already done that. I think we're past that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think if... I hope.
You hope we've done that?
I mean, yeah, we've mined every place in the world. We've mixed almost every chemical there is to mix. I mean, not me personally, but
Fun fact, we have actually turned elements into gold.
Yeah. And we've been able to
Just-
make one.
It just takes a lot of energy, and it's a very, 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 very insignificantly small amount of gold.
Is it?
That's because they're stealing
So
power.
it's not like that. It's not like the alchemy that was written about or searched in that.
No, alchemy back in the day, the Middle Ages alchemy was more like they put very valuable, and they wanted ways to make it, and because it.
I'm sorry, I'm just curious if Helia is using alchemy as a metaphor again. A lot of these. Well, I mean, are you just saying change?
No, I am actually meaning alchemical balance. Like if
What
you
does
can
that
get
have to do with?
if
I'm
you
sorry.
can,
What does that have to do with the questions I was asking though about
oh, it has
why you believe there's something divine?
Okay, how am I gonna answer this?
Honestly, I hope.
Because like if you can alkaline your body, if you can reach, if you can be completely, I don't know, like.
Does it feel like at all that you're grasping at scientific answers you don't fully understand?
Well, it goes into science. Of course it does. Science is God at the same time.
Well, are these understandings that you hold or are just vaguely familiar with? I'm sorry, I'm talking about the scientific terminologies that you're.
Oh, I'm the terminology I am not familiar with. The actual
So let's kind of get away from the scientific terminology and speak more directly about what it is you think is this divine that you experience that tells you something higher or powerful exists.
I guess when you're just in love, if you're like in love and you're happy and you have everything you need and there's nothing to worry or argue about, and you are with a counterpart, that is very powerful.
So if you're in love, that is very powerful. How does that inform you of something that is divine?
You know, it's a good question. Maybe because love has been monetized and people have been, like, the powerful men in the world have been jealous of not getting that. So they created imbalance on purpose due to jealousy.
Did we define divine yet?
No, I saw you down there. I figured you'd want to ask that.
I do. Can you tell me what the word divine means, please?
The word divine. I think it's more of just like a feeling for me.
Can you describe the feeling?
It's when like I am completely in the center of my it's when like the center is a gap, breathe, and then birds circle around me to say hi and show their love.
And you're in Cinderella.
Right? That's divine when something like that happens. It feels amazing.
It sounds like meditation almost.
Oh, it is. Yes. That feels divine.
So divinity is meditation.
It's access to it, I think.
So meditation allows access to divinity.
Yes.
Is there anything else that allows?
I don't think we have.
Good job. We love that. I don't know is a perfect answer. I don't have anything
Thanks.
else. Go ahead, Hammy.
Cool.
Heal, do you write at all?
I used to, yeah. Major trauma and meditation hasn't been working for me so much in a couple years, so I plan to get back to it.
Do you, like, what do you write? Do you, like, write fantasy? Do you write poems? What do you write?
Well, I think I was actually automatic writing for the longest time. And now I am forced to take what I learned and do something on my own, be the creator, because I think I was in contact with whatever the creator is, and like it kind of swept it away. And I even heard, you can call me schizophrenic, I don't care, but I hear stuff sometimes. And it said, okay, you're on your own now. I hope you remember everything I taught you. And
I don't think that you're schizophrenic. I personally would never diagnose anybody without an actual medical degree and actually be seeing them as a patient type of deal. But
there's a lot.
The thing is that, well, I mean, it's kind of like a known occurrence that people hear things that aren't actually being like spoken to them. Like I hear my name being called all the time, and nobody's actually around me. So, how have you differentiated that with somebody actually speaking to you?
Oh, that's easy. I mean, I know when someone's actually speaking to me, it's a lot more boring, to be honest, depending on what they're talking about. It doesn't feel
not a person, but like, how have you differentiated between the divine speaking to you and just you hearing things?
Okay. Okay, yeah. There's sensations that occur. I get like this tingly feeling on the top of my head, and then it trickles down the back of my spine. And then I start laughing for no reason when it is, I think when it's the divine, I think. But I think I was also introduced to the dark side, and that's a whole nother feeling.
So, I've gotten those feelings whenever all I've heard was my name being spoken and realized, hey, I'm just hearing things. So how would I be able to determine whether or not that's the divine calling my name or me just hearing things?
Okay, well, it depends on what you want it to be. I think it's your choice.
That auditory hallucinations are the most common type of hallucination, and they can be caused by like many things.
Especially these days, yes, because of fiber optics, EMF.
What?
No.
What?
Oh
do you know anything about fiber optics at all?
I just know that I've had dreams about them since I was 8.
So, fiber optics. Thrayle, may I educate a little bit since this is something that I actually work with?
Mm-hmm.
So, fiber optic cables just transfer data. That's it. It's no different than you plugging in, say, like a cat cable from your internet. It's a cat into your there's no like ethereal things happening here. It's just copper and basically kind of like a wax sealant around it with the cable. Like that's it. fiber optics isn't some kind of big spooky thing. It's an actual, like, it's man-made, and it does nothing but transfer data from one point to the next.
I
That's it.
understand that completely. And I get that it's just like a better version of what we've had. It's like 10 times better, 20 times better than what has been going on in the past 20 years. I get that, but it's not just about the fiber optics. It's about the other devices included and how they connect to your biometric system.
Those devices don't connect to your biometric system. That's not even a thing. The only thing that's biometric is if you have an actual thing, such as like the face recognition thing, in order to unlock your phone, right? And all it does is it takes certain key points of your face that are unique, and it shows that that is you. It's nothing else. There's no all these other devices that you have with any of them.
I'm aware of that. I guess you can call that.
But that is you. Nothing new.
Too, because I'm being shown with that.
But if
stuff.
you are, but if you are,
Together with other things.
But if you are using real world devices that have nothing to do with any of that stuff, and you are just believing that they do, how is this going to lead you to what's true?
Well, that goes into me questioning my own beliefs. The fact that I even came up with that shows that I am trying to remain balanced in what is true.
Well, then I would recommend writing, and more specifically, start writing fantasy fiction, because this here will get a lot of that creativeness onto page, and it will help you be able to differentiate between fact and fiction a lot better.
You're right. Probably. You are definitely probably right. I was trying to write like an outline for a healing, like a new type of healing, and I kind of went crazy because it was just like it was overwhelming. So you're probably right. I should probably stick to it.
I personally told Thrayle about a dream I had a few weeks ago. I told him last night about it, and how it inspired me to start writing short stories based on it, right? So, like, these are things that whenever we have these ideas, we can write them down, and it'll help get that out of our heads, so that way we can help separate the two.
I would also like to point out the reason I even brought that up was because I was trying to lend Tammy's point that basically auditory hallucinations are extremely, like, as far as hallucinations go, are the easiest ones for your brain to create, and could happen for a multitude of reasons: lack of sleep, not, whatever it is. It's not out of the realm of possibility that you might hear things just occasionally throughout your life because of stress, lack of sleep, what have you. That's all I was trying to say.
I know that because there was a point in my life when I felt completely in love and like just alive. I felt like I was floating, and everything that came in was beautiful and informative, and then at some point later on in life was actually very real. And then when I felt unloved and forgotten and abandoned and stressed out, that's when things came in that weren't so real. It was more of my insecurities and fears.
Stress can do, like, and Blake can probably, that is great, and Blake can probably elaborate more on this. But stress can do, like, really, really intense things in your brain, and make you experience things that are, like, almost you often, like, it is not out of the realm of, like, it makes sense that you would explain them ways that are almost unreasonable, because it seems unreasonable that your brain is doing these things just because of stress.
Yeah, like for auditory hallucinations, the only part of your brain that needs to get exhausted to the point of non-function is the part that tells you, or like that makes you able to distinguish the difference between something that you're hearing externally and a thought you're having in your head. So there's actually a mechanism that like you have that allows you to differentiate between what is coming in as like external stimuli and what is you are receiving from like your internal thought process. And so for you to start having an auditory hallucination, all that needs to happen is for that to break down, and then like the stress of having that hallucination can then make your brain start to do even weirder things and then like continue that, so you kind of get in this feedback loop of like you're freaked out because you're hearing something, it's just in your head but you can't tell that, and then you get stuck in this like stress loop that auditory hallucinations can cause. And it's just the fewer safety mechanisms or parallel systems need to break down for you to have an auditory hallucination.
Yeah, and I kind of think that we ask for it when it occurs. And I'm not trying to diminish anyone else's, but it's not that we ask for it, but like we ask a question, we are seeking something out, and it will always come back. And sometimes we forget that we asked that question, or we wished for that one thing and then didn't act on it. So then it comes back as something like a hallucination.
Really quick, I'm going to break in and say thank you to 96, to Shell, to Hammy, and to Donna B. And if I missed a name there, I'm sorry, but no, I didn't think I missed one. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for helping with that goal. Oink, he says.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't take Shake Zulu's meow because I'm
No,
Hammy's.
shake meows, Hammy oinks.
Cooking the
like
pig right now. Oink.
The whole like pull the string toy from when you're a kid that tells you that. Hammy oinks.
The Hammy says oink.
Like, Healy, does it?
But not, I mean, they're real to me, so.
Does it matter to you if they are real in reality?
Something.
To everything else.
Well, you mean as a shared reality?
Do you think there is a shared reality?
A lot of people are demanding that there is one, yeah. That's what's up with all the definitions and the math and the science and separating it all. And
do you think there isn't one?
I think that, no, I don't, because when everyone goes home at night, they are who they are on their own. They're by themselves.
Does that mean the reality around them actually changes, or just their perception of it?
Or maybe their perception changes when they leave their house, because it has to, because it becomes a shared existence. But when they're out,
you're saying it becomes a shared existence, as if it's not already a shared existence. I'm asking, is there a difference? But I'm asking, ultimately, is there a difference between existence and perception?
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, there is. I mean, our perception can change in an instant, but we're just still gonna. We're still gonna exist and exist and exist. kind of like we are right now.
You see, our perception can change in an instant, but we're still going to exist. Do you believe, just to back it all up, that there must be some God that exists in the same way that we do? Or is that just part of your reality, your perception?
I think God is so big for us to even comprehend. We're like ants to God. You know how you can draw a circle around an ant with a permanent marker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what shared reality is doing to us.
It's drawing a marker around us to keep us in a bubble.
Yes.
Is it possible that that attitude towards a shared reality could lead towards unhealthy and harmful results?
Only if we want them.
You don't think that harmful things can happen despite our intentions if we begin to abandon a verifiable existence?
Well, humans exist because we have to survive. We can't exist like a whale can or a dolphin can. We have to have intentions in order to survive. Otherwise, we're just going to lay there and die.
You see, we have to have intentions in order to survive, as though other creatures do not.
I think there are some creatures that do have intentions, like squirrels. They do. Hummingbirds, they do.
How do you determine that some animals have intentions and some do not? What does that even mean? Are you just redefining intention to match your understanding of purpose?
Do you really think our purpose is to tear down all the forests to create enough houses for everyone and then not let homeless people live in those houses? How is that purpose?
What I think doesn't matter, and I didn't assert anything of that sort, so that's a very strange, disconnected, and almost dishonest thing to say in response. It doesn't seem as though we're actually having a conversation, Heal.
Because you didn't think about
Heal.
what a squirrel does or what a hummingbird does.
Heal.
compared to
I
a
didn't say anything about what a squirrel or a hummingbird do. I don't think you're actually having a conversation with me. I think you're just kind of thinking unrelated. I'd like to go ahead and move on to the next guest, but maybe another time we'll have a more, I don't know, productive conversation. So thank you for being up here and trying your best to answer the questions you did. I do appreciate it.
Wait, before we have another guest, I have something really exciting.
Okay, we'll mute up that guest. Hang on just a moment there. What's up, Cap?
Just like 2 seconds. Can I show you something?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think I know where this is going.
Oh, you know what's about to happen.
Is it?
Yeah, uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is it volcano time?
No, it's not volcano time. Sorry, it's not that exciting. Hold on, let me.
Oh, what's the chant you say to make or to like tell Pele to show up or like erupt?
It finally happened. Look at that.
Oh, not what I thought was about to happen.
Yeah, no. She solved
I was
the
wrong.
It's been weeks, probably longer. Weeks that I've been hearing about.
It's been months.
Congrats, that's awesome.
Have
Okay,
you? Did you
thanks.
look up the
Thanks.
pattern?
Thank you, guest, for being patient with me. No,
No,
didn't.
she was refusing to use algorithms. Hey, Uday, can I
I
get your
did use
age
a
for
little bit of help
2,000
from
TLS?
Tyler,
Oh,
but that's it. Just a little.
Uday, I need your age.
28.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that?
Yes, I believe in God.
And which god is that?
The universal God Almighty.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I'm going to say it one more time, but after that, I'm going to say it also a different way. The universal God Almighty or the most merciful.
The universe of God Almighty or the most merciful?
Yes.
These are names of your God.
Yes, and more. 99 names and 100.
99.
But nobody knows the 100 yet, but some might do, some might don't.
So 99 names for God. Is this a God of a particular scripture or doctrine?
Yeah.
Which,
Yes.
Which have you read your Quran?
Yes, one time. But I hear it more than one time. But just like hearing different scriptures that I like to hear and look into. But I read the whole book one time.
You read the whole book one time from beginning to end?
Yes, that I did in one Ramadan.
And do you believe it to be the breathed word of God?
Yes, truly.
Why?
I don't see any miscontradiction in it. I don't see any harm in it. And I just see there's like peace for everyone and everyone have the right.
If you saw contradictions or harm within it, even the slightest,
Even the slightest, yes.
Would you then abandon it?
I wouldn't. I will go to the host profile and I will question it to find an answer for it.
You would question to find an answer. You assume that there would be an answer to make it not contradictory or not.
Contradictory in my brain, like, oh, wait, it doesn't sound right. Why is everybody believing in this? And then I would look into reasons, not to make me feel assured. I said it in such a way with an accent. Lovely. I love it. But just like make sure what is the meaning of this before I judge it with my own minds and thought.
So you would look for the meaning before making a judgment.
Truly.
And
I
when
would
you find
also,
the meaning,
sorry.
I'm sorry, I just want to clarify, if you find the meaning and you found it to be contradictory or in any way an error, what would you then do?
I will take it as an error.
So you would take it as an error.
Yes, sir.
So in your mind, can the Quran have errors and still be the breathed word of God?
No.
So would you then?
I will give time. I will give time to explain. Sorry?
Would you still follow Islam?
If the book have an error and I couldn't find an answer for it throughout time or living experiences on a daily basis with interactions with people, life and creatures and anything that I live around, I will, yeah, go there.
Really quick, I'm going to talk past you for just a second, not to be rude.
No,
but
brother.
I do need to thank Shell and Keep Up Zamoria96 for helping with that goal. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you all so much. So you would just give it time and assume that somehow Allah or the universe would answer or make it make sense for you if there was an error. So no matter what you find within the Quran or within your own reasoning, you would believe and wait for confirmation to that belief.
Yes.
Why?
Because I just want to give an example that relates to my life and the book and the belief. as a regular human being will have test things or like life experience and whatnot. I don't want to see a person who is good and I start clapping for him. Oh wow, he is good. Just because I saw one action, I start clapping. And then I saw another person, for example, and he did a bad action, and I start booing him just because of one action. I
How
don't
is
like the
this
clap.
answering my question?
Oh, I see what you mean. Because I had a thought in my head that I did not speak it out. So it gives, yeah, it gives you the benefit of doubt. So it's just like basically, I give it time to judge it. Like meaning, you know,
What
with
was
my
my
own belief.
question, Uday?
Your question was, this is what I think your question is actually, because I'm over here having my, I always like, you know, overthink things. You give time to see what the universe does to like, if you have a contradiction around upon your belief or your book, and then within time you will see an answer to like fulfill it. Is that what it was? In my wordings, not how you said it.
Okay. Why do you assume that um, your God is there, or that the book is true? That your information, despite and doubt.
Okay, now I'm taking it, and the question is taking it well. So I like to always have a strong base, and I think everyone does.
What is the strong base? Are you saying that the assumption that a God is real is your strong base?
No, the book
The
that I'm
book,
reading. Yes.
the Quran is your strong base.
Yes.
How would it be strong if it had errors or
Okay.
contradictions?
So I'm gonna go to your first question, and then I'm gonna respond to that second question. So when I wanna like stand on one thing, when I have a strong base, I can build on off it.
I don't need you to explain in some analogy what a strong base means. I need you to tell me why you would think the Quran would be a strong base if it had errors and contradictions. Blames and contradictions.
To build on to what you're saying, then
Don't build
I
on.
tested
Stop,
on it.
Uday.
Sorry.
To build on to what I'm saying means you're not about to answer my question. It tells me you're not listening. I'm asking questions. You're trying to build on to a question that makes no sense.
I see, well said.
Respond to the question.
Okay, so I chose a thing to test on it. I chose my book to test on it. If I see miss errors like you're saying, I would not believe in it. And since I've been building on it, I even questioned it. I believed in other beliefs. It could be split seconds, it could be moments. And it always take me back to that belief that I believed in the beginning. Not because of family belief, which I believe the same belief as them now. Not because it was inherited to me. It was something that I was like, okay, let me start with a starting point. And if it's wrong, I could go to jump to another one because this one is not it. I could see errors in it. There is missings. I always find the answer for it, and it makes sense why they believe this is a good belief to follow.
So your answer to me was every time you find an error.
It was the error of my point of view. It wasn't like an error.
It was your point of view. And my question was, do you remember my question in the conversation that preceded was relating to an error you might find that you might study and verify it is an error. If you were to do that, right? You said that you would then just wait and hope that God would somehow verify the book to you despite the error you had verified was an error. And I was asking why you would just assume that the book is somehow true, holding out for the error to solve itself over time. And your answer is now that you assume that it's true because
I test myself. I test myself with one thing. I see everything have a companion. Everything have the opposite of what it is. The ridiculous example I can give you as soap. You have one side and have another side.
what?
I have not. I'm just no. Just go along with me. I have not seen
Stop.
one
Everything
thing
has an opposite of what it is.
or
And the
two
thing
faces. Yeah.
and the thing you're gonna tell me about is soap. Everything has a sandwich and everything has layers.
Everything. No, not layers. No, everything have
And
two
everything
sides
does
to
has
it.
layers. Two sides is layers.
Yeah.
One side's
Oh,
a layer,
layers.
the other
Okay.
side's a layer.
There's
That
another
makes a
layer.
sandwich.
I never
Everything's a
seen.
sandwich now.
I never
Why
seen
are we
something that.
sandwiching?
Just never seen anything that opposes to patient or like another layer of being patient.
I have a question from the chat from a specific person who we like to have up here. And he asked, do you know Meccan 6th century Arabic?
This is the questions for me.
Yes.
No, I don't. Is Meccan like a thing or a person?
Mecca.
Oh, I know Mecca.
But it's
Or heard of
Meccan
Mecca.
6th century Arabic.
Do you know the Arabic that was spoken in the 6th century in Mecca?
No, I wasn't there.
How? So when you say you've read the Quran, what language
Yes.
did you read it in?
Arabic from Iraq, Baghdad.
So it is my understanding that that the Arabic that the Quran is written in and then the Arabic spoken in any Arabic speaking country today are two very different things.
But we understand as well. Yeah, well said. But we understand what it is, but I just feel like it was much deeper. It was well provided. And that's what it goes back to the person who's asking me on top of me having errors. That's why I always test myself with the patient because I don't know it. So I'm gonna test myself because I don't want to say this is the best of the doubt, benefit of doubt, this is the right thing. I'm gonna test it by just giving one thing as my test, which is the patient. And I think is the right test to do. Just like how he's being patient to me, that's testing me. And that's how I'm testing my religion, is being patient to it. And being on it for 28 years, that's the only test I've been testing it. And it's been testing me the same thing.
You're saying that patience is testing.
Yes.
That being patient is a test itself, just to wait for the answer you assume to be true to bear itself out to be true.
Yes.
What are you testing by assuming something to be true and waiting for it to prove itself against the odds?
People contradiction it, people having different thoughts, and I'll go along with them just to see their point of view from my side, and then seeing why they see that point of view.
To see their point of view from your side.
Yeah, like I see their point of view, but I want just saying it, basically seeing their point of view. And then I'm like, okay, why are they seeing that point of view? I want to see it from my side, okay, or not from my side. I was saying it, basically saying the same sentence, seeing their point of view in my eyes. Okay, why are they seeing it? Does it make sense?
So,
I should agree with them.
So, if you have somebody who takes the script and says that it says this thing,
True.
but somebody else takes the same script and says it says something else,
We
and
live
that
that
second
daily.
person well, of course, but that second person just so happens to read it in the same way that you've understood it.
Yeah.
Which one do you go with?
I'll go with the opposite.
So you go with the first person's,
The first person.
and that's the new translation that you hold to be true.
Yeah. I give him I give him the benefit of doubt. Just to like not say sink with him in that hole, so we could see like, okay, where can we be helped now when you have no answer in it? Or like, keep questioning it till we get deeper and deeper. Where do you get the point of view now? What are you following after this question and this question and this question, trying to understand it? If that makes sense. If that's like understood or
Is it making sense, Hammy?
Not really.
I just don't pick sides that agrees with me. The opposite, sorry.
You're saying you throw yourself to the opposite. It doesn't sound like you're doing that. It sounds like you're assuming that you are right, waiting until you are proven right, because you know you're right. You can't be
No.
wrong because you're right.
No, it's not this. I'm sorry if I gave that thought. I just like I want to question theirs with them.
Yeah.
Till we find an answer. We're like, okay,
Till you
his
find a way to
point.
prove that you're right.
No, his point makes so much sense. Now I have to go put more effort and more patience to understand what does he mean by it, so I can get to a leading. Maybe his is so strong. Now I have to ask my believers, my family, myself. This doesn't make any sense. And it just kind of reverts us back to the cycle of like being patient, giving it some time. We're like, okay, this person is talking more about it. I got to see his point of view more. And what I see my point of it, like till I like reach the core of it. That makes sense.
Hello, Tav, if you're still here.
Howdy, Hammy.
Good morning.
Hello, Thrayle and Cat.
Howdy.
Because I have a paper right here written, and a person went
Uday.
against one of my beliefs, and I agree with him.
Stop. Uday, stop for a
Yes.
second. Stop. We're saying good morning to Tav.
Sorry. Good morning, Pat.
Oday, right?
Yes, Ade.
Oday.
If you like to call me
Iraqi,
by Max, yeah, Iraqi. If you like to call me Max, I'm down for that, or Mo.
Yeah.
To make it
We'll go
easier.
with the different. If you want Max, I can call you Max online. You're a Shia, I'm guessing?
Shia, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You said you're building bases, right?
Not building bases, just finding the right bases. How was the base I chose? And see what can
Is
I
it like
build
a
on with
cultural
it.
thing, or did you actually look for it? Like, did you actually actively, critically
I did
vet
actively.
it,
I did. Wallahi, I did. I swear. I don't want to swear because some people do
or... I
not
don't
like
have
it,
to swear, I'm just
and I
asking.
don't like
I
it as
wasn't
well.
here
Yeah.
for the...
It just like
No, you
I was
don't
like,
have to swear.
okay, yeah. I'm just saying, like, I had this around me, and I know so much about it. So let me use that as a base, and then go
Have you
along with it.
actually questioned it though? Because
I did.
I've been through the same thing. You see, I didn't really trust the things I was fed, so I used the Quran as a base and built on it.
Well,
Actually, the Shias and the Mu'tazila are really close. You know that, right? I'm a Mu'tazila, by the way. I'm not a Sunni.
Wallahi, I don't know what I don't know where my Tizla is.
We're basically the same thing, except you believe in the Imams. I don't.
Oh, okay. I believe in the moms, and you don't, which
Yeah.
I don't not disagree with it.
Have you questioned the Imams?
I did.
Like,
You want to give your own
critically
point of
looked
view?
at them?
Yeah.
Because I find it hard to believe that. I don't mean this as an insult. I know that most Sunnis get that as a dunk on Shias, but I don't mean it as an insult. But do you really believe the Mahdi is still hidden somewhere?
Yes. Or not, you could say hidden, you could say somewhere with us. As a Christian point of view, you would say Jesus is still with us. And in the Quran, it says the true believers are not alive, but they are here with me, as the Father point of view.
Yeah,
So that
but
makes sense.
what I'm thinking is, hold on, wait. What I'm thinking is, he's literally physically hidden somewhere, or physically, literally with us.
He's
You know.
literally with
So
us, not hidden. In the point
yeah.
of view, if you
So
mean.
yeah, what you're saying, what I'm getting at, Adi, what I'm getting at is that you were saying that he's somewhat of a spiritually with us, not literally physically with us.
It could be both, because you could not saying, I don't want to say it gets deeper, but it just like God will, you know what I mean? Just like I believe Jesus is walking up with
I really don't,
us.
to be honest.
Okay, so I'm gonna build into it. Or build into my sentence with respect to the guy on top of me saying building. I'm not gonna build on top of you, just saying that I would not, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I would not say Jesus or the Mahdi is not on planet Earth walking among us, which in a point of view also gives us like the benefit of doubt of like, hey, be a nice person to whoever around you, because it could be whoever you think it could be. It could be that, we can imagine him, he's the worst or whatnot, but he's the prophet, for example, or the descendant, or the messenger, or the Messiah.
I mean,
He could
to be
be,
honest, not again, I'm not offending you. I'm just
Oh no, no,
like,
no! I'm not. By the way,
honestly,
I don't feel any offending.
I've
I
never
don't.
read. 1 second,
But
I'll be
hey,
back.
you gotta let him finish speaking.
I just want to like let him know that whatever he says, I'm not getting
Guys,
Just let him
offended
I'm
finish
really
myself.
sorry,
speaking,
guys.
Uday.
Okay.
Like, I'll be back.
I just want to let him know that I'm not getting offended at all. Like I would not get offended. I don't know. I don't offend anyone. So I don't feel like I will ever get offended. And
He
even if
didn't
I
leave
did,
because of that. He's just really busy.
I felt that as well, truly. But to the respect of the person on top of me, it's not I wasn't
Uday,
speaking over him. I would just like add on what he's saying, because I felt like he kept saying,
well, you
I
were
don't want to
speaking
offend you.
over him, so it doesn't matter. We don't need to argue about it.
May God forgive me, and I hope he forgives me first as well.
Okay.
We was taught as well to the person that you offended, asking for forgiveness before God.
Okay. I don't know why that's necessary. He's not here anyways. Uday, can you even question your belief?
I did it in one whole day.
Here, now, can you? Can you
I will
still?
do it again.
Is it something you still do?
I'm new to doing it again, but I'm willing to do it again. It's like now with more understandings.
What would it look like for you to question your beliefs right now?
And your point of view with your questions, what I did it on my own, saying like, okay, I'm gonna go along with Julian's and whatnot. And I'm like, okay.
So
And
for
then
you, questioning your belief is assuming another belief and seeing what's wrong with it.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Is that questioning your belief, or is that questioning another
to me,
belief?
yes. No,
how is that questioning your belief?
As if I want to question my belief, I have to choose another belief to test it upon it.
Why do you have to choose another belief to question your own?
It just makes sense to me. I don't know if
Why?
anyone like understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. I'm trying to understand why you're saying.
I'm a
you're saying
teacher.
you
Like
have-
the asking the why is like in which way?
What do you mean in which way?
When you say why you choose another belief.
Yeah, why do
How
you
can I?
think you have to choose another belief to replace your own or to test your own? Why can you not question your own belief without choosing another one as a foil?
Oh, I see what you mean. Now I see your question. I chose that to make it for me an easier route. Like this, if this doesn't make any sense, there is millions, or I should say, for example, billions, who's going with this belief. Just said easier route. Let me go along with them and see how they live in for 2 to 8 hours. Because if I want to question my belief, how can I go question it? Why are you God? I'm not going to sit and speak with God. I'm going to go choose another path to test my own belief because I'm not the creator, I'm created. So I'm going to go whatever is created or whatever has been built upon to go into it and dig deeper.
Do you think 2 to 8 hours is enough time to get a full understanding of
As a
somebody's
scientist, as a
belief?
psychologist, as a professor, maybe culture, religion, and belief, and as a human being thought, I'll just give it the best benefit of doubt just to see at least.
But did that answer? Do you think that answered the question I asked you?
Which is the question. Do you
Like,
think is enough?
do you think that 2 to 8 hours is enough time to fully understand somebody's belief?
No, 100%. So that will go back to the guy at top of me. Can you question your belief? And I would say, yes, let's test it again.
Do you think that you have a full, complete understanding of your own belief?
No, but I have the
And
core.
how long have you been in this belief system?
Born into it, believed in it 28 years.
And you think that 2 to 8 hours is enough time to get into a mindset of somebody else's belief systems whenever you don't know
100,
yours within 28 years?
100% no. It wouldn't make any sense. But for if you live in as a human being, and we know our capacity of a brain, I don't want to also hurt
Okay,
my
Uday,
mentality
Uday,
and physically. You know what I
Uday,
mean?
Uday. Is it possible for you to question your own beliefs without adopting another? Is it possible for you to question what you believe
Yes. That's what we live. That's the core of our beliefs, to
without
question it.
without pulling another belief on as a foil?
Yes, as well. I could do that.
How do you question if the Quran is true or not?
By just picking on the Quran and not picking it on it with another belief.
What is the
What is the most difficult? I'm sorry, it's not for you, just for me. I like sometimes to speak out loud to
Yeah,
understand
go ahead.
the
But
question.
everybody go ahead and vote in that poll on the top left corner of your screen while Uday thinks about the question.
What is the most questionable thing in my belief that I what? Sorry?
What is the most difficult thing in your beliefs to accept? Questionable is fine too. That's a good way to rephrase it.
Questionable belief. Let me see. If I want to really pick in my brains. I just find one question.
Mm-hmm.
Why did the prophet go through a harsh moment when the scriptures being given upon him?
You're saying the one question you have about
At the moment.
Islam. That's fair. Let me finish though. Just it's not to attack. It's just to hold it up. You said that the one question you have about Islam is why did the prophet have to go through a hardship when he received the word?
Yes.
Is what? So there's.
What
I'm sorry.
hardship are you talking about specifically, Uday?
So when Gabriel, by the way, I just want to can I just make a statement before I finish this answer? A quick statement, I swear it's a quick statement. If you guys don't mind, I just would like you to say yes.
I'd prefer you answer the question.
Okay, I would prefer the question. Why was he shivering? Why was he going through a disbelief, or why is it me, or what came upon me? Why did Gabriel give me this things, and what is he? That moment, which is nothing now to me as well. When I say certain things with patient, I also find answers. So it's kind of ridiculous if I respond to you with an answer. At the same time, I questioned it.
So the biggest question you have about Islam is why did the prophet shiver and go through a hardship when Gabriel
Yes.
gave him the okay.
It isn't.
Go ahead, Hammy. What is your?
Yeah, I'm just curious. It's not the fact that the Quran, which was given to Allah, has so many errors within it. It's not the fact that there's some really immoral things that it tells you, or even some of the hadiths tell you. It's just that the Prophet Muhammad went through hardship.
When he was getting the scriptures, not what he lived or what he was trying to testimony upon.
Right. So, is it? Do you take the hadiths?
The hadith is just like anything in the different written Bibles, with all respect to all of them. All of them.
But so you hold to all hadiths.
No, just saying that there is some.
Okay.
Basically, I think you understood my point. There are some that, have different meanings, and there were some that came from a weak source. It's plain and simple.
So, what about Aisha's?
Her and grant her in heaven. There is certain hadith that's in my belief and the Sunnah belief that truly shows she went against her husband,
Yeah,
or you could say the Prophet.
He doesn't believe the age given, and
Oh,
yeah, no, he doesn't believe that.
sounds about right.
And they don't believe that she was faithful to Prophet Muhammad after his death.
Of course, peace be upon her, because nor you and me or the books
Right,
or even the
he
people who wrote
wants to
upon
make
her
sure
knows anything.
he's making sure that he's not doing what many, when bring it up, say he's not spitting on her or anything like that. That's
Oh, definitely we don't. That's not how we taught. Nor on Miriam, nor on
anyways,
even
I want
Eve,
to
for
stop
God's
you
sake.
though. I understand and I appreciate you not trying to be like casting curses or anything, but
Oh, thank you.
I want to know.
By the way, if you don't know, if you don't mind me asking just one thing, I would just, because you said I want to hold you just to finish the question. I was just trying to make that statement I told you before. You remember, the statement was, even if you curse my mom right now on live or curse me out, I would not feel offended. We'll just show. Not saying. I'm just saying. Just in general.
We're not
I
here
don't
to
get
do
offended.
that, but I don't need you to grandstand. We're just trying to ask you questions about your
Understood.
beliefs, and also we've hit the point today where I feel like we've tried very hard to question your beliefs, but you're not really interested in doing too much of that, and maybe another time we can question more. But we did have a poll, and 90% said that they would like to move on. So.
Oh, okay, I see. I will agree with the poll as well.
Maybe another
Before you
time.
say it, it was my pleasure having.
Thank you, Day. I appreciate you. I hope you keep asking questions. I hope you find some questions that you can ask without holding up something else to fight against with it. I don't know who was in longer, but Oliver Love, can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
49.
Do you have a belief in a god or God's higher power or anything like that?
The only belief I have is that I don't know. The older I get, the more I realize I don't.
So you don't know if there's a God, or you don't know what a thing you believe is there would be called?
I believe that if I kept on like going on to like try to like consistently think that I know anything at all, the more uncertain I become. And
the more certain you assume you are, the more uncertain you become.
The more certain that I try to define anything, the more certain I'm uncertain.
That's certainly confusing.
I know, right?
So,
I mean, I'm militantly agnostic.
Why don't you believe there's a God?
There's just no definitive proof. I cannot for my scientific mind, highly unlikely.